Welcome to Season of the Worthy. It seems like the last week and a half of Dawn, sorry man, I just couldn't make any content because I couldn't get inspired to make any content. I feel like I just kind of said what I needed to say and I kind of left it at that. I'm not that great at making filibuster videos. Filibuster videos to me are like, videos you just make just for like ad revenue and just to have relevancy. I'm just not really that great at those, and if I can't get passionate or, get behind anything, I just can't make a video to talk about anything. I feel like I'm just wasting my time at that point, but Season of the Worthy is here. Freaking amazing. I hope you're excited about it. I've seen a lot of people just kind of bashing it, talking about the reskins and the fact that the Faction Rally armor can't put seasonal mods on it, which I don't know why they would even bring that back if you can't do that, but I'm not here to, bash the DLC yet because I don't really know exactly what it all entails just yet. We know that Trials is back, it's here to stay, and that's, awesome and all, but this is a main PvE channel. PvE is always going to be evolving, especially with D3 coming around in September, if it is going to be called D3 or whatever that's going to be. And from a lot of the leaks that I've been reading, even from last year, it seems like the new content in the future is going to be all geared around hardcore player base and harder activities, and that's a lot of the reason that I believe we're seeing the anti-barriers this DLC being sidearms and being submachine guns, because that's going to teach you a lot about CQC accuracy. And I know people are hating because they wanted hand cannons to be the anti-barrier type weapons, which I completely agree, but with it being this way, it is going to level you up and teach you a lot about that CQC combat, so I'm not totally hating on it just yet. I'm actually kind of looking forward to this new difficulty, the Grandmaster, especially trying to use sidearms and SMGs to take off anti-barriers and stuff like that. That's going to be extremely difficult, especially since it's 1060 light, and I am at least, a long ways away from being able to do that, but the difficulty is what I'm really excited about, and I'm so happy that Timeline Vertex came back. 47 of you sent me a message letting me know that it came back, and I really did appreciate that because I didn't even know it myself. And it's actually the first 660 fusion rifle that can get Demolitionist, which is, new to the game, and I'm glad that they brought it back and brought it back with some pizzazz because that's my favorite legendary fusion rifle. That was really all that I used. Even when random rolls came out in Forsaken, I was still hanging on to my 1.0 Timeline Vertex with Snapshot, and that's really all it had was Snapshot and Enhanced Battery. But now that you can get some decent rolls with it, that's what we're going to be talking about today, the God roll. UTEPR's actually let me borrow his account, so shout out to him. He actually has the exact roll that I'm looking for. He got it one of his first drops of this season, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, the God rolled Timeline Vertex. Let's hop into this video. So when it comes to any fusion rifle that can get Torch HS3, that is the ultimate sight to have on any fusion rifle. It's got insane air accuracy, the range is dope, the stab shots when you just charge and then stab it in a general direction at the last second. It's just the magnetism and the sweeping capabilities. If you can get that on like Air Intel especially, any kind of fusion rifle that can get Torch, always go for that option, because when it comes to PvE combat, I can't really speak on PvP that much, but PvE content, that is the sight that you want to have. It just is insanely accurate, and once you get it and try other sights along with it, you'll understand what I'm talking about and why I've hyped this gun up for so freaking long, and I'm really excited that all of you get to now finally play with this weapon. Let's get into the second perk. So either Enhanced Battery or a bigger magazine, or if you can get Particle Repeater, I highly recommend that. That's kind of similar to Icarus Grip but on the ground, but if you can mix in Icarus Grip and its lingering damage, what I mean by lingering is shortly after you land, about a half second later, Icarus Grip will still be active, and when you combine that with Particle Repeater, or if you're just in the air in general, it makes this thing a freaking laser beam on top of the Torch. So once you get Torch, Particle Repeater, and the Icarus Grip, and start doing these short hops and running gunning all around the map as you're seeing like right here, that's what makes it extremely insane. And the fact that you have Demolitionist really kind of negates the fact that you don't really need 7 rounds in it by having Enhanced Battery, which is what the stock version of this weapon had. Either one's really just as great, to be honest with you, but if you can get the Particle Repeater and the Icarus Grip on top of that, you really just solved every issue, and you have the most accurate fusion rifle in PvE for range, for sweeping, for CQC, for hip firing combat, for anything basically that you're doing in PvE combat. Those 3 combinations of Torch, Particle Repeater, and the Icarus Grip. Like I said, it's always going to be active in run and gun combat, so get that on there, and I promise you, you'll never even want to try another scope out again. Jolt is kind of okay, but really short range, but this one gives you close quarter combat and long range combat, and it locks on to every target insanely well. I wish that you can get random burns in this, but solar is still decent. It doesn't slay harder than Telesto, but for any legendary fusion rifle, in the charge time that you can get with this and these insane perks that we're going to be talking about today, you just really can't beat this. So let's hop on into the next group of perks. and that is going to be lead from gold. The reason why you want lead from gold is because anytime you get heavy ammo, and the fact that you can put a fusion rifle finder and a heavy ammo finder or a rocket finder or whatever it is, it's going to give you ammo for your fusion rifle, and there's nothing better than getting fusion rifle ammo off of any kind of brick except for primary, basically. And it's not like you just get one shot, you actually get 4, but 5 if you have one scavenger on. So not only are you getting rocket ammo or whatever heavy you're using, you're also filling your special ammo back up, and the more special you have, the more grenades you're going to have, because you're also going to be having demolitionist, which is going to mean you're never going to reload this. And the fact that this is a 660 charge time, which means you have a fast time to kill, which equals a fast grenade charge time, and around 4 kills you're going to have your grenade back, because it takes 16 seconds off your grenade recharge with every kill that you get. Here's another example of this with lead from gold. You see that brick that just dropped from the rocket ammo finder? Well, I have no ammo, I got to reload, I jumped right in the middle of these ads, and then boom, I just throw my grenade, get that reload, and also pick up those 5. So now I'm good to go to stay in the middle of combat. I got rockets, I got special ammo, which is going to keep me alive right before I get melted down. And then as soon as I get all that ammo, within 4 to 5 seconds, I have another grenade. So this is just fusion rifle gameplay. We're not even talking about armor builds here. So if I was to have like hive armaments or taken armaments or fallen armaments or whatever other perks going on with my build, such as, you know, quick charge or heavy handed or just whatever else going on with it, you're always going to have these perks going with that armor, which is going to make it ultimate beast mode. The reason why 660s are in a perfect spot in the game for PvE is because before the ordeals came out, a 660 used to kill ads in the same number of shots as an 860, but after the ordeal, an 860 will actually outslay one by 1 more shot than a 660. But you don't get the agility that you do with the 660 in combat, and for around 80 to 85% of ads, the 660 is going to down the ad in the same number of shots as an 860, except for yellow bars and for the champions. But that's only a small percentage of the gameplay, so for majority of the gameplay and the ads you're going to be facing, 660 is going to be at that perfect balance to keep you running and gunning. So even though you might have to take an extra shot on a few of the ads, majority of your gameplay is going to be non-stop, just aggressiveness, and it has plenty of damage to stagger any ad off of just 1 shot. Unlike Prolium, which can sometimes take 2 shots just to stagger ads. So a 660, especially with the abundance of ammo you're going to have because of the lead from gold, or if you're rocking special finisher, which is what I always recommend, if you always have special ammo, then you can remain pushing ads constantly, and that fast charge time is going to allow you to keep staggering and keep killing the ads. But if you have a slower charge time fusion like an 860, it can actually hurt you in run and gun combat because of that slow charge time, and the slower handling will sometimes allow you to get hit more often just by having to wait on the slower charge time and not being able to be, you know, as accurate and jumping around as much and, you know, maneuvering around combat areas. Of course, the exception of these would be Jotun, Telesto, or an Arantel that also has Torch. That is the only Arantel that I like for PvE combat. If it does have Torch, it'll almost shoot just like the Timeline Vertex, but it's only because of that scope. But as far as your accuracy and the ability to sweep shot multiple ads and with that extra damage, Arantel with Torch can keep up with Timeline Vertex, but it has to have that scope. The perks on top of Torch, and for it being on a 660 charge fusion rifle, which is perfect in the PvE game, is what makes it really just ultimate. The perks are just the overkill part of it. Torch is really where the accuracy all comes from, on top of the Icarus grip, and then with the particle repeater, lead from gold, demolitionist, you got yourself the best fusion rifle for legendary in Destiny 2, in my opinion, when it comes to run and gun. And that's actually the 1.0 Timeline Vertex is what got me in top 10 for average kill counts in Gambit Prime whenever leaderboards are going on, and that was all that I used. So if you need some, like, you know, kind of reference or context to put all that into, it is a top weapon that can slay among the fastest weapons in the game. Although it is meant and going to be the strongest against red bar ads, it can hold its own against any group of ads because of its agility properties, which equals survivability, and its beast mode properties because of its damage along with that agility. So don't sleep on Timeline Vertex. It may take you a day or a month or however long to get used to it to unlock just the kind of movement that it can do, but I promise, once you do, and then you go back to other fusion rifles, you'll see the lack of agility that other fusion rifles have, that Timeline Vertex is just ultimate supreme in, and what makes it the top of its class for not only a 660 fusion, but really any legendary fusion rifle in Destiny 2. If you want to know any builds and things like that for the upcoming Grandmaster, any build from the last DLC is perfectly fine for this DLC, especially my Devour Warlock builds, the Titan Banger build, even my Hunter Hive and non-Hive versions that I've made, so check those out if you need any kind of build tips and things like that. I will make some revisions as well as some updated and newer builds as time goes on. We're going to be talking about SMGs next, those anti-barrier weapons, to kind of get us prepared for that Grandmaster difficulty. I know a lot of you are probably not thrilled with some of the choices for the anti-barrier weapons and just barrier weapons and champion weapons in general this DLC, but I think by the end of this season, it's going to teach us a lot about CQC combat and just CQC accuracy and just overall agility and movement for ad control for future DLCs and for a potentially much harder Destiny based on leaks for D3 that might be coming out in September. You Guardians take it easy, and I'll see you all in the next video next time.
In space.